Okay, we're going on live on the internet now. All right, today's date is July 8th, 2022. In Collingsworth County, Texas, I call cause number 7480 in the interest of Bailey Lynn Stiegel. What says the state?
Your Honor, Larry Blackburn for the Office of the Attorney General. The state is ready.
Thank you, Mr. Blackburn. Present by audio and video is Tracy Carrier. Are you ready to proceed, Ms. Carrier?
Yes.
Also present by audio and video is Kyle Stiegel. Are you ready to proceed, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You may call your first witness, Mr. Blackburn.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Ms. Carrier.
All right, Ms. Carrier, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Blackburn.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ma'am, what is your full name?
Tracy Lynn Carrier.
And what is the name of the child in this case, ma'am?
Bailey Lynn Stiegel.
And how old is that child now?
She's 14.
And she still lives with you, is that correct?
Yes.
And who was ordered to pay child support for that child, ma'am?
Kyle Bailey Stiegel.
Okay. And how is the child currently covered for insurance, ma'am?
She is on CHIPS.
Okay. Do you have insurance available through your employer or any other source?
Yes. Through my
Okay.
employer.
And how much would that cost to add Bailey onto that, ma'am?
Roughly like 245 or 54. I can't remember the exact numbers. And that would be per pay period.
And how often are you paid, ma'am?
Bi-weekly.
Okay, so that would be almost $500 a month.
Yes.
So that's quite expensive. And Your Honor, I'll ask that the court take judicial notice of the prior order in this case, which is from 2014.
All right, I take judicial notice of the contents of the court's file, specifically the prior order of 2014.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Carrier, Mr. Stiegel's fallen a little bit behind in his child support, is that right?
Yes.
Your Honor, I will offer into evidence State's Exhibit Number 1, a copy of the pay record showing as of the end of last month, Mr. Stiegel's child support arrearage is $886.01 and medical support arrearage of $84.
All right, so on State's Exhibit Number 1, you're looking at the line for 6/1.
For June the 30th, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, admitted to State's Number 1.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Carrier, you believe that Mr. Stiegel should pay back what he owes, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Carrier, as far as Mr. Stiegel's current income, do you have any information about that?
I just know that he works in the oil field. He checks wells. That's all I really know.
Okay. But if Mr. Stiegel were to provide his tax returns, I mean, would you have any concerns about that being true and correct and complete?
Yes.
Okay. What concerns do you have?
He stated that he only makes, like, 1 year, he only made $11,000. And I don't feel like that's possible. I don't feel like you could live off of that in a year. If that's all that you claim that you brought in. So I just have questions about that.
Okay. And as far as your address and phone number, other contact information, do you have any issues with Mr. Stiegel having access to that information?
No, he already has all of that information.
Okay. Any safety concerns with Mr. Stiegel or anybody else?
Not currently.
All right. And at this time, ma'am, is there anything else that you think the judge needs to be aware of?
No.
Press the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Stiegel, do you have any questions you want to ask her? If you do, they just need to be in the form of a question.
No, ma'am.
All right. You may call your next witness, Mr. Blackburn.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll call Mr. Stiegel.
Mr. Stiegel, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Blackburn.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, what is your full name?
Kyle Bailey Stegall.
And you're the father of the child in this case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess first, sir, do you have insurance available through any source that Bailey could be put on?
I do have a catastrophic insurance plan that I'm presently on. It's not like a go to the doctor type of, pays for like doctor visits or anything like prescriptions. But I do have a catastrophic plan that me and my son is on.
Okay, but so it's not for like regular doctor visits, it's just for like emergency room visits, that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
How much does that cost?
For me and my son, it's $263 a month.
And how much would it cost to add Bailey onto that?
I do not know the numbers. I would possibly $100 a month.
Okay. And you just carry that privately?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you do work, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you work for yourself?
Yes, sir.
What is your company called?
Stegall Oilfield Services, LLC.
How long have you been working for yourself?
Since February of 2018.
And is that the same time that you created the LLC?
No, sir. I did not create the LLC until late 2019 requirement.
Okay. And is that your sole source of income?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you file taxes for, I guess, for the business and for yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's all, is that all done in a single tax return?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you want the judge to be able to look at that and review it and bring it into evidence?
Yes, sir, please.
Now, this is the latest tax return for 2021. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Mr. Blackburn.
Your Honor, I think Mr. Stegall would like to offer his tax returns into evidence as Father's Exhibit 1. And I believe that was sent to you electronically, Your Honor. Is that correct, Mr. Stegall? You want the judge to see that?
Yes, sir, I do. And it was sent electronically.
And
I'll admit that as father's number 1.
thank you, Your Honor. And Mr. Stegall, what was your gross income for the for 2021? What was your gross income?
The gross taxable is on the paperwork there, and I think it said 33,000 and something.
Okay, but I mean, as far as gross before anything, before
1099 itself was $82,075, I believe.
okay, and that's what's on your 1099.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I believe that also appears on your profit and loss, correct?
Yes, sir.
Let me find that page.
If you see it there, I don't know much about that.
Okay, so on page 13 of the document is your profit and loss from business. And on here, you list the gross receipts, $82,075. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so the judge has a lot of discretion of what she can decide to give and not give credit for. And you have several deductions on here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have your car and truck expenses, $5,521, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so what does that comprise of? Did you buy a truck, or what was that?
I use. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I use my vehicle to get, to out when I'm working, checking wells. I use the vehicle for that. There was probably some maintenance on there, upkeep.
Well, I think list separately here, repairs and maintenance, $10,581.
Yes, sir. That was for my camper that I stay in to be able to work out. And also that was for the vehicle itself, for my work truck. That was the maintenance and the repairs for it. The $5,000, I'm not sure. I mean, is that just is that probably for mileage maybe? Or I don't know.
They're your returns, sir. You'd have to tell me and tell the judge.
I don't know. I'm not a CPA. I'd have to look at the documents and see. I'm not sure.
Okay. So it's page 13 of
Yes,
the
sir.
document. Are you looking at it?
Yes, sir. Page 13.
Okay. So you see on the left column, you have 5,521 for car and truck expenses. So
That
do you know?
Yes, sir. Now that would be, I believe, the payments for the vehicle to be able to own the vehicle so that I could do my job with it.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. And so depreciation lists 4,297, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then insurance, it says other than health, you list about almost $11,000, $10,870, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that just insurance, like liability insurance for your business?
That is general contractor insurance, and then also for the vehicle, for my truck, and for the camper itself, I have to carry a $2 or $3 million bond on each, and then also for myself.
Okay. And then on interest, other, it's about $1,000. What is that?
Interest on the loans for the camper and the vehicle.
Okay. Office expense, about $2,000. What is that?
That would be stuff for the office, like my laptop or a printer, so I could send off reports and do emails for work. The printers, to print out the paperwork. It would be just office expense in general for.
Okay. I think I understand. Repairs and maintenance. I think you explained that was repairs to your camper that you stay in.
The camper and the vehicle. Yes, sir.
Okay. Deductible meals. That's about $2,500. And then you have utilities here, $5,100. So do you have an actual office building?
Yes, sir. I do. I have one. I have an office building, and it is an additional building to my home.
Okay.
And it's utilities, and that pays for the, phones, things like that. The phones, way to communicate, send for the Wi-Fi and stuff.
I understand, but I'm just trying to understand so is your office building, is it an attachment to your home, or is it a completely separate building?
No, sir. It's a separate building.
Okay. And so that $5,100 is just for utilities for your office building.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the other expenses, $6,567. What is that?
Honestly, I do not know. I would have to ask my CPA.
Okay. Well, if you want to think about it for a second, you need to explain to the judge what that is, so the judge can consider if she'll give you credit or not. If you're saying you don't know, the judge may not give you credit.
Other expenses, I believe that if I'm not taking off for mileage, I believe in the years past that was for fuel to drive around to these different wells and to get around out here to do my job.
Okay. And so can you just briefly describe what your job consists of?
Yes, sir. I start up new wells. I work out in West Texas, and I start up new wells. and we get them lined out, separate out the sand, the water, the oil, the gas, do any kind of repairs when things first start up. There's going to be problems and issues electronically or mechanically. And we work on those. We do reports on the well, show them what they're making. The production of the well, keeping up with the chemical input. That is pretty much my job.
Okay. And you're not employed by anyone except yourself, correct? You don't receive a W-2 from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. All you receive is your 1099 as an independent contractor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I think you said before, this is your sole source of income, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you, I guess, you're not in agreement with the child support increasing. Is that right?
No, sir. It would be
Okay.
tough.
Your child support right now is set at $500. That was set way back in 2014, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And could you explain to the judge why you're not in agreement with the child support increasing?
Just it's been hard to make the payments as it is lately. I have full custody of my son, and so in 2019 I started working less, which shows on my 2020 and 2021 taxes about the amount of money that I've made. It's been I've recently got married, and she has 4 boys and I have the ones. We have 5 dependents at the house. Of course, one of them is all I can claim on my taxes, just my son Trayton. And with everything, the way everything is going up, it's just gotten really hard to not have to work as much so I could be there for my children instead of having to be all the time.
Your son that you got custody of, how old is that child?
He's 10. He'll be 11 in October.
And he lives with you in your house, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you mentioned 4 other children. Those are your stepchildren?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay. Have you formally adopted any of them or started that process for any of them?
No, sir.
Okay. And how old are those children?
15, 12, 10, and 7.
Okay. Mr. Stiegel, do you have any issues do you have any issues with Miss Carrier having your address, phone number, that sort of thing?
No, sir.
Any safety concerns regarding her or anybody else?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have anything else that you'd like the judge to be aware of or take into consideration?
No, sir. I believe that's it.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Carrier, do you have any questions you want to ask him?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Anything further, Mr. Blackburn?
Just a brief closing, if I may, Your Honor.
All right, let's proceed.
Your Honor, the state is requesting judgments consistent with State's Exhibit Number 1. Request appropriate payouts be set on those arrearages. Your Honor, I believe that Ms. Carrier should be ordered to apply for government medical assistance, and Mr. Stiegel pay $50 a month in medical support beginning the first day of August of 2022. And Your Honor, I would ask for your guidance in determining his net income to properly calculate child support. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Carrier, from your point of view, what would be fair for me to do?
I just feel like it's tough on everybody, raising kids and having families. And I feel like, especially in this day and age with everything going up, with the cost of gas, with the cost of living, $500 in the long scheme of things, it helps, but it doesn't cover all that she needs. She's 14 she needs something like when we're in school, it's something every week, whether it's band or there's a dance this night or there's just something all the time. That's not including keeping a roof over her head and paying for, car payments and keeping food in her belly and stuff like that. So I just feel like if we can come to an agreement, would be a lot better.
And Your Honor, if I may, I do have a couple additional questions for Mr. Stiegel. I do apologize.
All right, we'll reopen. Go ahead,
Thank-
Mr. Blackburn.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate that. Mr. Stiegel, what state do you live in?
I live in Oklahoma.
And you have an additional income tax from the state of Oklahoma, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's, well, the state tiers it up, but it caps out at anything over 12,000 is 4.75%. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that's, I guess you pay that as well, correct?
Yes, sir, I do.
That's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Stiegel, from your point of view, what would be fair for me to do?
Whatever's best for my daughter, really, honestly. Yeah, man, I know it's tough, and it is tough on everybody financially. This day and age is a lot harder than it was 5 years ago, possibly. It's just with the cost of raising kids, it is expensive, and I want my daughter well taken care of. I would just, I'd like to do what's fair for her. I'm not trying to lower the child support in any way. I know it's hard to make the payments I'm making now, and I just really care what's best for her, honestly.
What I am going to do, since I have not received the tax return, is I'm going to take this under advisement. I'm going to turn off